The air hung heavy with the scent of lilies and grief. Mourners huddled together, their shadows long in the fading light. They had come from all corners of the village, drawn together by the passing of a life once known. The man they laid to rest, Thomas, had been a simple soul, a farmer with calloused hands and a kind heart. Yet whispers followed him even in death, whispers of strange practices, of an association with the unseen.
As the priest finished his somber eulogy, a palpable unease settled over the gathering. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves in the ancient oak trees that bordered the graveyard. A lone crow cawed mournfully from a distant branch, and then silence. Heavy, suffocating silence.
The mourners dispersed, their footsteps echoing on the cobblestone path, leaving Thomas alone in his newly dug grave. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of blood orange and deep violet. Twilight descended, shrouding the graveyard in an eerie gloom. The air grew colder, the silence more oppressive. An owl hooted from the darkness, its call a haunting melody in the stillness. The grave, freshly dug and still raw, seemed to pulse faintly under the weight of the night. A tremor ran through the earth, a low groan, like the earth itself was in pain. The freshly packed soil over Thomas's grave began to move, first a slight shifting, then a more insistent cascade of dirt, tumbling inward. The air crackled with an unseen energy, sending a shiver down the spines of any who might have dared to linger.
Then, with a surge of unnatural strength, the coffin lid burst open from within. Thomas emerged, his burial shroud clinging to him like a ghostly shroud. His eyes, once filled with life and warmth, now glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. He was no longer the simple farmer. Something had changed him, twisted him into something different.
From the shadows of the ancient oaks, figures began to emerge. They moved with an unnatural grace, their forms obscured by long, dark robes. These were not mourners returning to pay their respects. These were figures of whispers and nightmares, their eyes gleaming with malice and accusation.
"He lives," hissed a voice, sharp as shattered glass, the one who dabbled in forbidden magic.
The figures drew closer, forming a circle around the resurrected Thomas. Their faces, hidden beneath their hoods, were unreadable, but their eyes burned with an unholy fire. These were the witches and wizards who had dwelled in the periphery of the village, their existence a hushed secret among the townsfolk. They pointed bony fingers at Thomas, their voices a chorus of condemnation. They spoke of pacts made under a blood moon, of ancient rituals defiled, of a balance disrupted. Their words hung in the air, thick with menace and the promise of retribution. A gunshot ripped through the night. The sound was deafening, echoing through the silent graveyard like a clap of thunder. The witches and wizards, momentarily stunned, turned towards the source of the sound. A figure stood at the edge of the circle, silhouetted against the moonlit sky.
He was an imposing figure, tall and broad-shouldered, his face hidden in the shadows of a wide-brimmed hat. In his hands, he held a shotgun, the barrel still smoking from the recently fired shot. The acrid smell of gunpowder filled the air, mingling with the cloying sweetness of the lilies.